And those small goals. I remember after my first open heart surgery, I had flatlined 3 times during that surgery,
Wow.
AJ. And my first goal was just to walk around my block. If I could walk around my block, I felt like I could do anything else after that.
Man, CT, pleasure meeting you, sir. It's like I'm at lost for words, to be honest with you. I mean, I followed you my entire life. My uncles are power lifters.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, they've been in the industry for a very long time.
Ooh,
And yeah, they owned once upon a time they both owned a Gold's Gym in
oh,
Miami. I
man.
mean,
So
Fort Lauderdale. I apologize, Fort Lauderdale. Yes, sir.
they serious about it.
Yes, sir. So they actually were part of that once upon a time in the '80s when everything was really boom, 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 right?
Oh,
So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know exactly what I'm talking about,
I sure do.
man. So I pleasure meeting you. I actually I was blessed to meet Mark Bell.
Okay.
Right, he put me in contact with you. He said, "Hey, this is one guy that I bet you would resonate with. So I would love for you guys to actually have a conversation and see where that relationship goes." And myself, I'm AJ Brown. I'm getting into the self-development mindset training myself. I've actually have a Discord where I am creating a coaching program for like-minded individuals who have a fear of that terror barrier, that self-limiting doubt when they know they can break through it, that ceiling they think they can't get above. Well, I'm here to tell them, hey, you got this. Let's keep going. Stop and start moving. Right.
I'm curious to know your method for doing that.
I use my own story.
Okay.
So I'm a veteran. Um, I come from the disenfranchised side of America. They're in the cities, and we were told then it wasn't possible to really be the best version of ourselves. Right? We have this programming, and when you're in the Black and Brown community, you tend to believe that after a while, right? Because that's where you're trained, that's your programming. Um, I then went into the military, and
Which
after
branch,
nine,
young man? Which branch?
I was a combat medic in the Air Force.
All right. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My whole family has a legacy in the military, and I wanted to be a Marine. I wanted to be in the front line. And my dad said, "No, you won't." And then once I got into the military, I figured through the Air Force how to make it happen. And he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Listen, there's a purpose out here for this." Um, Unfortunately, when I got out of the military, my brain was a little scattered, right? After seeing so many deaths, being a part of a lot of hysteria, and not dealing with my past trauma as a child, I ended up in prison for 3 years.
Oh,
I got into a
okay.
fight. I got into a fight with these things, and I'm gonna tell you this much right now: it was the best 3 years of my life. All the accomplishments all the accomplishments that I thought I had, I got to sit down and listen to God, listen to the Word, right, and really digest that information. I graduated in prison. I had 2 college degrees, and then when I got out, I had a plan, I had a mission, I was focused, and I got 2 more college degrees, 2 more professional licenses. I became a licensed electrician. I own my own company. I said, hey, you know what? I'm not going to live by the status quo, um, especially out in California, because that's where I got in trouble. The recidivism rate is over 80%, right?
What part of California?
I was in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I grew up in Compton.
Yes, sir. I do know that. Yes,
And
sir.
I'm also a Army vet. So we have a
Yes,
few things
sir.
in
We
yeah.
do. Yes, sir. I appreciate your service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for
Um,
yours. You did it.
I,
I was just in. You're a real soldier.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I'm blessed to be home. A lot of
Yeah.
my friends, male, female, aren't so blessed, or if they are home, they have missing limbs. Their life is definitely different. I was clinically diagnosed with severe PTSD. They put me on all kinds of medication, and really kind of never gave me the tools to be successful of changing my own mindset. They just kept on giving you pills, right? And that's where I that's where I start now in my life, in my journey. Especially after the pandemic, I lost my job, right, as an electrician, which is crazy. Like, how does an electrician lose a job, right? Um, and I had to figure out, hey, this is where we're gonna go. This is how we're going to do this. And ever since then, brother, I have been even harder, going even crazier with this self-help development. I went into sales. Um, and one person said to me, "Hey, he never loses their job, a sales consultant, because you can always, right? Everything is for sale in America,
Yeah,
right?" And
true.
so it's been a blessing to actually be an entrepreneur now, to give myself my own platform, to build my own legacy up, right?
Absolutely. It's nothing better than being an entrepreneur. And that's coming from somebody who worked 28 years at the post office for somebody else. I know for a fact that it's nothing better than being an entrepreneur and having your own.
Amen, brother. And I think that's what's the most that's what attracts me now to everything I'm doing for my family, is that, at the end of the day, it's mine. You can't take it from
Absolutely.
me, right?
Yep.
Like, unless I give you that authority to, right? And I don't believe in that. Now, once again, I'm just blessed to be here in front of you. I went to tell my uncles I sat down with CT. Um, they're gonna then when I showed them a picture of Mark Bell, they go, "No way, that was you." I'm like, "Yeah, look, that's the slingshot right there."
Yeah, that is the slingshot. Mark
Yeah,
Snelly Bell himself.
that's right. That's right. So, but throughout this time of social media and learning about who I am, I've actually figured out how to really be more of a voice for the people that don't have a voice, right? For the ones that feel like they can't get above that ceiling, the ones that feel like they can't have that power for themselves, right? And I teach people, be authentic to yourself. That's it,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right?
I wish, I try to get that same message across to people because they think that copying you or someone else is the easiest way to get seen or get known, and it's actually horrible because people will be able to spot that instantly. I mean, and if you're yourself, it's only one you. You can't help but be unique. But if you're copying off somebody else, they're going to be able to point it out just like that. They say, "Oh man, you a knockoff of whoever. You're just a carbon copy of whoever." So absolutely being yourself is number one. The number one advice I give anybody starting out.
That's beautiful. Thank you, sir. And that's exactly what it is, right? Because your mindset is everything. You're the best thing that's ever happened to you.
Woohoo! I like that.
That's my slogan. You're the best thing that's ever happened to you. Be the best
I
version
like
for
that.
yourself, right?
Yeah,
No matter what, at the end of the day, everybody can have an opinion, but that's just noise, right?
yeah,
And when you're truly just the observer of your own thoughts, right? You don't have that doesn't dictate you, doesn't tell you who you are. Because if that was the case, then I wouldn't be here today talking to you, right? If I believed the noise when I got released from prison in 2014, then I would be a statistic, right? But now I'm considered an outlier, right? So I want to make sure individuals understand that you are your self-limiting doubt. Once you can release that and you can break through that terror barrier, your future is destined for you because you're made for abundance. You're made for love. You're made for faith, not for all this scarcity and fear and all this other nonsense people try to really put into our lives. That's just garbage. All right.
uh, let me ask you something, AJ. Now, in order to be a combat medic, you went through basic training or something like basic training, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you had an instructor. What do they call instructors in the Air Force?
They call them TIs.
TIs. Okay, you had TIs in basic training. Let me ask you a question. Did your TI ever give you a choice? Did your TI ever say, "Hey, AJ, do you feel like getting up this morning?"
Actually, he never did.
They always told you what the fuck you was gonna do, right, AJ?
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
and you did it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And they turned you into a fucking soldier, right?
That's right.
Okay, well, I'm old school all the way, AJ, and I take my style of training from my drill instructor. You had AI, I had a DI, and
Hmm.
my drill instructor never said, "Hey, CT, you feel like getting up this morning?" ACT, you feel like running fucking 10 miles a day. ACT, you feel like doing any damn thing. He didn't ever ask me one thing about my feelings. He said, get your punk ass up and do it. And that was it. And that's basically my style right there in a nutshell, AJ.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. Right. That's the reason why I get up and make sure I do a task every morning. Because just by when you got up to get out of when you were in basic training, when your drill instructor said to get up, what'd you do? Make your bed. Right. So you give yourself
Absolutely.
one goal, right? One goal turns into two goals, two goals turns into three goals. You make sure that you give yourself an accomplishment every morning, because then that day just becomes easier.
Uh, you don't know it, but you sound a whole lot like this old motherfucker right here, man. Absolutely. I tell anybody who's starting out training, who, I don't care what their circumstances is, are they, they may be severely overweight, not healthy, whatever the circumstance is. How do you get started? The question I get a lot is, how do I get started? See, I've been on the couch, for 20 years, and how do I get started? And those small goals. I remember after my first open heart surgery, I had flatlined 3 times during that surgery, AJ. And my first goal was just to walk around my block. If I could walk around my block, I felt like I could do anything else after that. But
Amen.
setting those the first time I took off, I got to the end of the driveway. I couldn't get no further than that. Then I got to the end of the corner. And then I made it a little bit further, halfway around, and all the way around that block. But I set those little small goals, and I tell anybody who's just getting started, no matter what it is, make a little small goal first. Stand up straight, whatever it is. Make a small goal, and it's almost just what you just said. Set those small accomplishments, make it a goal for that day. I'm going to do this or whatever. Make a small those small accomplishments.
Yeah.
Each one that you accomplish is going to give you that much more encouragement, that much more, I can do it. You're going to encourage yourself by accomplishing these small goals. You're going to motivate yourself by setting and accomplishing these small goals. So,
That's right.
when I hear you talking, I'm like, damn, I'm listening to myself.
So, it's funny. I tell people, if you set 3 goals a day, that's 1,095 goals a year. They don't have to be big goals. That's 1,095 goals. And now what you eventually end up doing is the goals will get bigger. And you actually start, right? And now you set yourself, like Bob Proctor would say, a C-type goal. A goal that you have no fucking idea how to get there. The goal that makes you go, oh my God, I'm scared. That's the goal you should be aiming for.
Yep.
Not the goal that makes you comfortable. Because if that was the case, everybody would be doing it, right? If it was easy, right? And just like, in the bodybuilding world, if it was easy to lift however much weight that you think you can lift, then we will all be
everybody be doing it.
Everybody would be doing it, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I was in my prime of working out, I was like, I'm only 5'6". I was 200 pounds, right? But I was solid, right? Yeah. I was solid for a little guy. And then when I hurt my back, ever since I have a ruptured and a herniated and I have S1 nerve damage. I have L4, L5, and S1 nerve damage. So I get neuropathy in my feet sometimes. And what ends up happening is if I don't move around too much, I get stuck. And right, people don't understand. Like when you listen to these doctors and they say, "Hey, don't move," what you're doing to yourself is actually hurting yourself. Right here and here, right? Because you tell yourself, hey, I don't feel good. So then your subconscious now becomes your emotional mind. Then that's how you're going to project, right? So if you tell yourself that self-talk, that reflective talk to say, my conscious mind, hey, you're good. It's okay. Go, go, go. Your body will naturally say, I'm good. I can go, right? And that self-help talk, that self-reflection, sitting by in your own thoughts, you let somebody infect that, you can do it to yourself. That's a poison.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Your own limitations.
That's right. You limited yourself, man. Like, people say, I can't get out of the situation. No, you can't get out of your own way. You can't get out of your own thoughts. You can't get past your old paradigm. How are you going to better that? What are you going to do to change that? Because, change is inevitable, right? Personal
Absolutely.
growth, now that's a choice. Personal growth is a choice. Now, if you choose you want to grow, now you're going to actually grow,
Yeah,
right? You're going to, your mindset, your body, your family, your friends, the people around you, just like hanging out, like same thing with people you're hanging out with. If you're hanging out with knuckleheads, what do you think you're going to do?
you're
All
gonna be a
right.
fucking knucklehead too.
That's it. If you're
Yeah,
hanging out with bosses, if you're hanging out with people that inspire you, if you're hanging out with people that understand what you're doing and they understand what you both by back and forth a two-way street, it's inevitable you're going to be successful.
absolutely. Yeah, like mindset.
That's it. So what we're doing, and I'll send you a link. I don't know if you ever heard of Discord. Is we created called Quantum Society, right? And in Quantum Society, it's a group of individuals that come together every day at 12 p.m. Every day, 12 p.m. Eastern, and we do a mindset training. We take time out of our day to motivate other people who want to be there. This group has grown and keeps on growing. It's part of the NFT crypto blockchain community as well. And we're trying to educate people what the future is coming here, how the financial market is going to be moving, how your money can be used different ways, and how you are a source of income. You're a currency. This right here, this, your emotion, your life, your attitude is a currency. What you're putting out is what you're going to receive, right? The law of attraction, right? So
Yep.
we make sure we do this every day at 12 p.m. Eastern. And I'm telling you what, Mr. Fletcher, it is amazing to see all these people starting to come together. And I truly believe we are going to be the space of the future for all mindset, growth mindset, individual success, entrepreneurs, anybody who's having that self-limiting doubt, who can't get through that terror barrier, who's that imposter syndrome. We're here to help them with that. And it's amazing because it's free, right? And we do it for you. We do it for the people, and we make sure that we're actually being that voice of reason. So our actions match our words,
Which is important,
right?
especially these days.
Right. And it's so easy. You know, I recently went through an episode with an individual where perception is not reality, right? And I took a very valuable lesson on that. And I had to realize, just because you have 120,000 followers, just because you have all this looks like something, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, so you just discovered that, huh?
Well, on social media, Diggs, I'm telling you, I never had a social media presence. In the last 6 months, I've put somewhere on 20,000 followers on Instagram, right? Never had a social media presence. Never thought about doing this. I was always 9 to 5, or doing the way you were taught, our program, right? But not in social media. I never really paid attention. I just thought, oh, this is all, people are authentic. Man, took a kick in the ass, and I was just like,
Oh
wow.
man,
Wow, right, and it was definitely a life learning lesson. But the old saying is, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." Right?
absolutely. I mean,
It won't ever
you
happen again.
yeah, authentic people on social media are, a needle in a fucking haystack, man. It's very difficult to find someone who isn't just doing it for the camera, isn't just,
Right.
when you see them in reality or get to know those people, they turn out to be, just like you said, imposters.
Imposters, false prophets. Right?
Absolutely.
The Bible says to make sure you watch out for people who are false prophets. Right? Make sure you're watching out for individuals who say the right words, who use God's name in vain. Right? Who understand, hey, this is what I'm doing. Right? But that's not. But we have to know the word. This is why I tell people, man. The Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Okay, pay attention, because God's giving you a way to understand. However, you may say, if you want to say Allah, the universe, something's bigger than you. Okay, and He's giving you instruction. They're giving you instruction to have that conversation with yourself. And I tell you right now, I met some false prophets, and throughout, I mean, throughout my life, but especially recently, there's a lot of hype around certain individuals in life, and now all of a sudden you want to believe that it's true, because if you're a good person, your first instinct is to say things are good,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I tell you what, AJ, I am a preacher's son. So I grew up in church, and I grew up around a lot of church people. I mean, to be in church every Sunday. And, from all outward appearances, you would think they were angels. But, I grew up in that environment. I lived amongst them. I lived with them. So I know that it ain't true. It ain't so. Some of the worst individuals I have ever seen were in church every Sunday. So it's not, and of course that makes it worse.
Right.
Like you said, false prophets and hypocrites. You know,
Hypocrites. Yeah.
yeah. What did God say would spew them out of his mouth? I mean, a hypocrite. I got no tolerance for hypocrites. I be one way or the other one, but be straight. Be real with
Just
it.
be real.
Whatever,
Be real,
just
right? Be real.
whatever it is, be real. If you're gonna, if you're a bastard, be a bastard, but
Be a
don't pretend.
bastard. Own it, right? You know
Yeah, I
what?
much
People. You go ahead. I
much
apologize to
prefer
cut you
that.
off.
I
Right.
much prefer that.
That's right. People don't like Donald Trump, right? But I tell you what, at least he wore it.
Hey, that is so true. A lot of people don't like him. And I ain't his number one fan, but the motherfucker was straight out with it. He
He
went,
he wasn't trying to hide it, and that's like
nope.
I'm like at the end of the day, I get it. His tactic, his antics, all that was nonsense. I get a lot of that stuff. Is the way he would just spew and just try to gaslight. I understand that, right? That's fine. But he owned it, and he
That is
outwardly
true.
made sure that people knew that he was saying something the way he did it, right? So even if you're a bastard, even if you're an asshole, at least own it. Say, hey, you know
Be a
what? That's the
real
truth,
bastard, be a real
right?
asshole. Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I
I
did
would
some. Go ahead.
much prefer that. I would much prefer that.
100%, right? And then when you come to find out that when they're not that, and you're like, wait a minute, I got set up. What the hell? Who told? Wait a minute. Why did I believe this? Right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. What's
and
wrong
then
with me?
right? That's exactly right. What's wrong with me? What did I miss? What were the red flags? What was that input like that? One thing I've definitely have more. The more I meditate, the more I get into my own personal self, the more the intuition is really speaking live to me, right? That gut feeling that, oh, hey, watch out. Like, that's not just a red flag. That's the motherfucking truth. Like,
Yeah,
pay attention, understand this. And I tell you, the more and more I get to know who AJ is, because I tell everybody, you study everything in the world, you scroll through social media, scroll through your life, study yourself. Because
absolutely.
why aren't you? Because who the hell is going to do it for you?
Yeah.
Nobody's not going to give it to you, right?
Nope.
It ain't easy. We
Well,
have
I mean,
kids in life. Go ahead.
absolutely. A lot of people want somebody to give it to them. A lot of people expect somebody to give it to them, and it just, it don't work like that.
No,
Just don't
it's
work
not.
like that, AJ.
That's right. I appreciate that, and I know it's awesome to meet like-minded individuals like yourself, CT. Now, I would love to keep this relationship going and having a bigger conversation whenever you have the availability. I mean, I'm just blessed to be in your presence to have this understanding because you're an OG. You've been here. You get it, right?
Well,
And
I want to, apologize for missing the our first two appointments. Old man was kind of sick, man.
that's what
So
I heard. Your sister
yeah,
got a hold of me. She's great. She really made sure. She said, "Hey, listen, he ain't feeling well." And I was like, "Look,
yeah,
I totally understand. I get it." And I know we all have things that come up in life where we all have to be patient with each other, right? That's one of my biggest things. Be patient. It's not just because it's delayed. It's not denial.
absolutely. That's what I wanted you to know. I wasn't trying to avoid you. Old
No,
man was feeling.
I totally, man, brother. I appreciate you, and I definitely understand that. We all have things in life that we got to attend to first, because our health, our family, that's something that should always come before anything else, right? At the end of the day, we wouldn't be here if we were unhealthy, right? We wouldn't be here if it
Absolutely.
wasn't some good support in our life. We know it
Yeah,
takes it. There's an old adage: it takes a village, right? And sometimes we have to really sit back and really, appreciate that support and appreciate our health and appreciate the good things in our lives, right? And then just because you have that success, or just because you have that platform, hey, I'm not available all the damn time.
Well, I tell you, the appreciation for life uh, is never greater than when you almost lose it, AJ. And
Man,
you're
amen.
talking to an old man that, flatlined 5 times in total, had a heart transplant, been gone a few times, AJ, but I'm still here. I'm still talking to you. So when you ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed.
That, hey, highly favored. Amen. I hear that. And that's what I tell people too. When I went to prison, I thought I lost it all. Honestly, I was like, man, I lost my success. I lost my money. I'm down to zero. I have gained because of my appreciation in my own life. I understand where I'm here today. I have gained 10 times. I have Grant Cardone my life, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I understand why I'm here in life to really do myself now. And what's not about the woes, that victim, right? Because we all could be a victim. Everybody
Yep.
has that victim type mindset, right? But that's not meant for everybody. That's not meant for anybody. Because if you believe you're a victim, then you know what? You are a victim,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
To your own thoughts, right? And I tell everybody all the time, you're just the observer of your thoughts. Those do not define you, right? And we have this conversation. We actually just had one today on our Discord about self-limiting belief and self-limiting doubt, right? And you're a star. Treat yourself like a star. Treat yourself like royalty. You're a king. You're a queen. We are God. Look in the Old Testament. God tells you are God. You are me, right? Don't
Yeah.
act as if you are the God, but I gave you life, right? I you it, God made everything in 7 days, but on the seventh day made us. Think about that to the longest of everybody, of all the
Yeah.
7 days, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
appreciate that, right? CT,
Absolutely.
you like sports?
I do, especially now the big sports. Well, I can't say that, especially combat sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, combat sports are my favorite.
I wrestled in high school and in college. I was a pretty badass wrestler. Went to school at the Citadel. Was
All
blessed
right.
to and down in South Carolina. Was blessed to do that. Um, was living in Vegas for a little while, so Vegas is like the mecca of combat
Right.
sports,
Yep.
right? I was stationed out there. Did a lot of training out there, so I love it myself. Right now, though, there's a big baseball chase. Aaron Judge is trying to go for 61 home runs right now, and it hasn't been done since like the Barry Bonds, right?
Yep. Yep.
Right. So it's fun to
Yeah.
watch this, and every day I'm waking up, it's like, did he do it again? Did he do it again? And he's stuck on 60, man. I'm like, go for 61 already. Roger Maris is right there. It's fun to be a
Yeah.
Yankee fan.
So you really following that chase. And it's always
Uh,
really good when you got something exciting like that going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gives you something else to look at, right? Because like your life is so busy. Sometimes you want to go ahead and just decompress and follow something else, right? And to watch
Yeah.
other people succeed in life, that's a great feeling. That should
That
motivate you.
that is the way it should be. But you will find that in this social media, the bigger you get on social media, the more attention you get, you'll find out that people that you thought were going to be cheering you on or you would expect to be cheering you on, a lot of times the biggest haters or your biggest retractors are the people that, they're like, oh man, somebody from your old neighborhood or somebody else who was in prison. And you would think, oh wow, well they shared my experience, they know what I went through, and they're going to be, my on my side. They understand, and them motherfuckers be the ones to fucking
Yeah,
shit.
not damn right. Isn't that the crazy thing, right? Because like they say, family can become your enemy, right? Your
Hmm.
friends can become your family, and your enemies can become your friends.
Yeah,
It's pretty
absolutely.
amazing how all that works together, right?
Yeah,
And I just appreciate, when all walks of life, there's a lesson to be learned somewhere. Even though those lower frequency moments, right? When people are like, oh man, I'm not feeling well. Well, what are you learning from that? What are you learning from it? Think about that. Think about what's going on in your life. Why aren't you feeling well? What are you learning? How can you take that and make it better out of it? Because every day you should try to be better than the day before, because it's going to set you up for success for tomorrow, right? And that's why I want to make sure I go to bed in a way that I'm not pissed off at anybody, right? But that's hard to do sometimes, especially, we all have our significant others and everybody else, right? You're like, oh man. So that's why I'm saying you got to study who you are. You got to pay attention, because if not, you're going to fail yourself. Nobody else can fail you because you don't give them that authority. You fail for you. That's it. There's no, so I don't believe in bad luck. I don't believe in good luck. I really don't. This is my feeling, my opinion. You create your own luck. You do good things are going to happen.
Absolutely.
You do bad things are going to happen.
I believe that. Yeah.
Right. And sometimes we just got to make sure we have that opinion. I forgot to upgrade my Zoom call. I apologize. So we got a few minutes left. So like I said before, I would love to keep on, have this conversation, be more fluid. I love to be, you're a great man to have a conversation, to be mentored by, to have that understanding what success is really about, because you've made it through a lot. I followed your story. I read a lot about you, and I appreciate you coming here to have this conversation with me. CT, let me ask you this. To your younger self, what is the best information you can tell yourself?
Best information I could tell myself is true strength. It's only true strength or true faith after it's been tested. Until then, or you can tell yourself, I have all the faith in the world. But if that faith has never been tested, if you never had to go through something, if you never, had to endure anything, it's just talk. It is just talk. Oh, I do, a lot of people talk about what they would do in a certain situation. Well, if a guy came in here with a gun right now, I'd snatch it out of his hand and beat him to death with it. Until that motherfucker show up with the pistol, you just talking. You just talking. So it's not really faith, AJ, until it's been tested. But if you can smile in prison, behind bars, if you can smile in prison, then you're doing something. It's easy to smile while you're walking around out here on the street and looking at the sunshine and the daisies and shit. But if you can smile behind bars, then you're doing something. If you can love a motherfucker that hates you just because the color of your skin, AJ, then you're doing something. Because it's easy to love somebody who loves you. You love me. Oh, I love you too. But when you can love a motherfucker that hates you for no other reason than the color of your skin, then, AJ, you're doing something. Okay, you know what, AJ? I'm gonna talk to you later, man. But I'm gonna go fix me fix me a turkey sandwich.
CT, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir. I have your contact. I have your assistant. I would love to do this again. I have some amazing people around me in my inner circle that I would love to introduce you to, and just have this conversation more often, man. I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate your authenticity. I appreciate who you are as a man, and thank you so much for giving me 30 minutes of your time to have a very constructive conversation, to give me some insight and actually a bright light, knowing that when I become the age of, how old are you again? How young are you again, CT?
I'm 63, and that's old.
63. When I become a 63-year-old man, I know that, I at least had that positivity in my life to show me that, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. Because a lot of times we don't understand. We got to start listening to our older generation. We forget that they have the wisdom and the knowledge to give us the more insight to how to be more successful. We can't just do it on our own. And I appreciate you so much, sir.
I appreciate you. And AJ, thank you for having me. My assistant is actually my daughter. Oh. So she definitely got the inside track. So just talk
Yeah,
to her
amen.
and we'll set it up again.
Thank you, CTA. Have a blessed day, sir.
Thank you. You too, NJ.
Salute.
All right.